An observation from each of you about where you see, or whether you've been part of, a successful collaboration or partnership. What does it look like, and what do you think are the key aspects of the success of partnership when it comes to innovation? Because we spoke to Vina about this earlier. I thought I'd ask you the same type of question. So, Ben.
Yeah, look, I think I've mentioned a couple of those already, CSIRO, UQ, City Smart being some of them. What do they look like?
How do you pick them? I mean, do you have a rationale for why you go with them?
I'll talk about CSIRO because we're broad. They're broad. Yep. They're aligned around national research flagships looking at environment, water,
yep.
health. That was a natural, I think. It wasn't easy. Not easy for either of us to get together like that. But the breadth of technology, it helps us localise, it helps us come up with solutions that work for our customers on the ground in Australia. Others are more industry, project specific, like the Q1. I think it's vital. I think generally to get up a level, the industry's not well enough connected to the innovation system nationally. I think many recognise that. We do an international report each year in January called the Innovation Barometer. Australia actually improved its position from this year, from last year to this year. We're up from 16th to 13th out of 25. It's not bad, it's not great. The government has got a stated ambition for Australia to be in the top 10 innovation systems in the world, so by any measure we've got a bit of distance to go there. You don't see the same level of connection between academia and business in Australia as you do in, say, Germany. We've got the Fraunhofer Institute, which is creating PhDs working on industry projects. PhDs then go and work in industry on those industry projects. And there's a bit of an interplay between the two. I don't want to blow the own trumpet, but we've got 3,000 PhDs in GE. It's not by accident. It's important to have that sort of smarts going on in the business. It's not easy to do. But I think it's recognised that Australian industry needs to do more of that connection to the innovation system.
Some of them are rocket scientists.
Some of them are.
Ross?
If I can comment from the education and training perspective, which is the one I've just come out of, it was interesting to hear Vina talk about the cross-discipline interactions that she was having in the university. I've just done 5 years at Sunshine Coast TAFE. And when I first got there, we knocked on the door of the university and they basically said, well, bugger off, son, we're not interested in talking to you. And so, I think that in Australia there are some layers to this. One, universities are often very disciplinary themselves, and the cross between the disciplines is often very hard to get communication working, to get cross-disciplinary activities. And that across the education and training sector, the school sector and the vocational sector and the education sector are still siloed, and it's a challenge to get those three sectors working collectively, even in a region like ours, which we're doing well at. And then it's interesting to watch the university and TAFE work at the industry partnerships that they have, because TAFE's are natural at this. We sit there and we have industry come in and sit on our industry advisory boards, and they advise us about what the training should be and so on. And you go and talk to our colleagues at the university, who we love, I'm not criticising, we love them dearly, but their interactions with industry are very much about, what can we do in a research sense together, what can you give us, rather than seeing themselves as providers of the skills workforce. But I can just share with you one partnership I know does work in that sense, and that's that, as I understand, that QUT and the Brisbane Airport Corporation have a very, very powerful cooperative relationship, where the QUT have actually created a kind of discipline within their ranks, which is about aviation city. So that as Brisbane Airport Corporation, which has the largest block of land in Australia for airport and its surrounds, develop that into an industrial, residential and commercial precinct along with the airport. They're actually working with QUT and they're doing the research, and just one of the outcomes of that was, and you would have seen in the papers just recently about the second runway on the left-hand side as you go up. One of the outcomes of that collaboration was that they did some research work and they introduced some innovative PhD students who wanted to do a project on it, and they realise now that they need about $50 million less filling on the left-hand side than they would have previously thought.
Planes won't go into the water, will they?
No, they won't.
But he's right, the business is siloed and academia is siloed, and it's tough to find those that integrative systems thinking, the holistic thinking that you need. You need that on both sides.
Is it an Australian thing? Is it
No.
a legal thing? Is it a law? Is it a cultural thing?
It's a natural thing, but we need to work at it.
You just,
I think one mechanism that's helped is the formation of the cooperative research centres,
yeah.
which are deliberately set up to be a number of universities, a number of industry players and people like CSIRO all joined together in one grouping, looking at particular areas of research.
I think you'll see another one of those at the Sunshine Coast University Hospital, where they're going to create a skills academic and research centre, which is TAFE, 2 universities and the Health Skills Development Centre, you know, working in that health and social wellbeing space.
Wow. It's impressive. Tom, did you want to...
I suppose.
I
I can certainly comment on the importance of collaboration and partnering as a key issue that's considered in any of the competitive assessment processes for our grants. Certainly, where there's that type of relationship in place, you know, an application is going to look a whole lot stronger. And I think it's just, I suppose, just evidence of the fact that, you know, it's not quite that common that it exists. And so if anyone is interested in pursuing any of the grant assistance, then it's something to bear in mind in terms of trying to sort of like, you know, supercharge any bid for funding. If there's a collaborative aspect to it and there's any hint of sort of, you know, getting IP out of universities and into business and transformed into commercial outcomes, then that's certainly something that certainly is seen in a very positive light. And I suppose while we're on this subject, I can't not mention a very small but quite unique and I think important program that's currently being run by the Australian Industry Group and Enterprise Connect, another division of our department, called the Researchers in Business program. I'm not the full bottle on it, but I understand it provides salary supplementation for researchers to go and get put on staff in businesses, small, medium-sized enterprises. And certainly facilitates the type of partnering that we're talking about.
Yeah, I'd support that. The Enterprise Connect guys are fantastic.
I'm on the CSIRO Manufacturing Sector Advisory Council, and a lot of the small manufacturers speak glowingly about researchers in business. I haven't got a personal experience, probably more apt for those guys than us.